Time for another News Blast episode here on the Political Napalm. Today is September the 15th. It's a Friday. September the 15th. It is a Friday, and I'm going to call this one the Family Values Edition because, boy, the beginning set of this video over here is really going to show that the party of quote-unquote family values is really doing a bang-up job of being the party of family values. So, let's go ahead and get into it. So first we're going to start off with the now well-known news of Lauren Boebert being escorted out of Colorado's showing of Beetlejuice, the play. A good friend of mine actually went to this and absolutely loved it. And I made the joke on her Facebook today. I was like, well, you got to sit through the performance, but here's somebody who didn't. Because that friend absolutely hates Boebert and considers her a disgrace to Colorado. So here's the footage at 1.5 times speed. So this is the footage that had come out in the beginning of the week. And Boebert went on a I shouldn't say apology tour, a cover-up tour, and said the whole vaping thing hadn't happened. So this person right here is a pregnant lady, and we're going to see this a little later in the video. This lady asked Boebert to stop vaping because she's pregnant. And look, we could all haggle over the merits of vaping and the fact that it's basically water vapor that's in the air. However, vapes do smell, and in Colorado there is of course a big chance that that vape wasn't just a nicotine related vape. It could very well have been other substances. And we'll see actually how far it travels a little later in the video. But this lady over here with seemingly maybe like a blonde hair, and you can see she does appear to be pregnant, the way that she's got her arms below her belly and everything like that. It's kind of a common stance for pregnant women, but she would tell Boebert, please stop vaping, I'm pregnant, and Boebert was like, whatever, lady. So this was the original footage of Boebert getting kicked out. And when this went very, very public, she said, I wasn't vaping, it's a lie. So here the ushers or the maitre d's are like, you need to leave. You need to leave. And she's like, don't you know who I am? I'm not leaving, and you're going to have to call the cops on me. And they're like, yeah, well, we did. So here is when she packs it up. The escort grabs her purse rather than Boebert, and the two of them walk out with him holding her purse the whole way. So this is about 4.5 minutes over here, 4.25 minutes. So we've got it sped up. So she takes a selfie on the way out. She goes up the stairs over here in this section. This is the section of the video where she's going to turn around and flip the staff of this particular theater, the Bird. And I think it's also, yep, there she goes adjusting herself, and there's a reason for that. That was the Bird flip right there. She walks past a bunch of people. She gives somebody the do you know who I am finger over there, the kind of Karen finger where she does the finger waggle. Here she's striding out. She's still talking to the kind of strawberry blondish guy there on the left, still giving him some grief. Here she is leaving through the front, and people are standing by, and you'll see some of these members kind of laugh. This lady in the lower right here in the glasses kind of laughs at the whole sequence. They go outside. She drunkenly goes for some twirls over there with her quote-unquote escort, potentially a boyfriend, which is something interesting here because, for the party of family values and everything, Boebert in just a recent few months has gone from being a wedded wife, mother, and grandmother to supposedly dating that ramen-headed gospel guitarist guy. I think his name might be Sean something. to now this guy who's still carrying a purse, and she's still kind
There's
of
one simple
just
hearing hack.
basically,
Anyone
sitting there twirling around like she's just a drunken girl at a college party. And it's it's just not mature adult behavior. And I mean, listen, people can imbibe what they want, they can smoke what they want, and everything like that. But let me see if I can find a video of who she actually reminds me of. So let's see if they have this Family Guy clip. Yes, here it is. This is who she
That may be a little
reminds
harsh.
me of.
I'm not going to avoid Peter like a drunk chick at a party.
I just smoked the wrong side of a cigarette. Who wants to go swimming? Oh, this song is about me.
Yeah, so
may be a little
that's
harsh.
basically what Lauren Boebert was acting like that day. So she, tried to cover up for what she was doing and saying, oh, okay, so, I wanted to enjoy Beetlejuice, but, sue me for enjoying it and, maybe being a little loud or dancing or something like that. However, she said she wasn't vaping. So here we can see some better footage, which is color,
being
from
disruptive.
the beginning of it all. So there's her with her escort. That's the vape in her hand right there, and you'll see. I mean, that smoke basically goes right into this person's ear. Well, excuse me, vape. Saying smoke would not be that great. So if you look, hits the vape, and boom, right into the back of that person's head. They have no idea. Here's the pregnant lady saying, "Can you please not vape? I'm pregnant." Here's the selfies. Okay. So, as she's doing this selfie over here, or maybe trying to sneakily take a picture of the lady behind her and call it a selfie, you will notice that her arm is here. His arm is on the inside of it. So basically in the middle of the theater, and there's other footage that I'm not going to show on this because it is a little bit more intense. I'm not going to say this is a family-friendly show or video by any stretch, but let's just say the bean is being flicked over here in this sequence. Here's the crazy dancing that I told you about. That's just, basically this. I mean, that's got to be obnoxious because even though there's no sound to this, there has to be sound accompanying those movements. She's got to be singing or making some kind of noise over there. It would be very, very shocking to me if she's doing those crazy sit in your seat and dance moves and not make any sound. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a. And it's just so gangly and awkward too. So here, let's just say he is checking the puppies. He's just checking the puppies to see if they have any, bumps on their heads. He's just, being a good dog daddy and just, checking out the puppies over here. And again, I've seen some more clearer footage of that one on a bigger scale. And let me just leave it at this. While he's doing that, while he's checking the puppies for, any bumps on their head, making sure the puppies don't have any ticks or, anything like that, she's checking the head of the snake to see if anything's stuck in its mouth. You can go and find the footage yourself, but basically mid puppy vet check over there, she checks the snake. The hand is on the leg, and then the hand goes up Tin Pan Alley over there. So yeah, a lovely example of the party of family values. And there's the middle finger to the staff of the establishment. So we're all adults here, folks. People can do what they want with whom they want. And that is literally the mantra of some people who want to be left alone for living their life in a way that some groups of people consider an alternative or blasphemous life choice. Their actual thing is like, please leave us alone. We're doing our stuff over here. It has nothing to do with you. Let it be. What happens in our own house, who I marry, who they marry, you know, leave it alone. In this particular case, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a clutch the pearls moment here or just an egregious example. It's the fact that it's in public. And when you look at the gestalt of the whole sequence over there, from the 4-minute video of her getting let out to the more precise ones about the physical groping within the theater and vaping in front of a lady who's pregnant who says, can you please stop? And again, you know, family values, pro-life and everything. It's just trashy. Is there really a better word to describe the whole thing as trashy? And the reason why she pulls the dress up in the longer footage when she's being escorted out was because of his groping. His groping actually disheveled the ladies, you know, the puppies over there. So not a super classy look. And then the real big thing of it, and the thing that is not a matter of your views on public displays of affection, you know, PDA and everything. The thing about it here that cannot be denied, and is not an opinion, and is not a how do you think of it compared to how do I think of it, is the lie. When she said she was not vaping and everything like that, and the lady behind her was being crazy, saying, oh, I'm pregnant, don't do it, blah, blah, blah. The footage proves that she did. And it's funny how the week has progressed with the footage of Lauren Boebert, because it's almost like somebody gave her some rope just to watch her get tangled up in it. Because by denying, you know, that original footage being out there, which was, you know, basically about the escorting out, and just like, oh, you know, I didn't vape and all that other stuff, it allowed her to lie, and then the footage came out proving that she lied. I mean, it's like a wonderful setup over here. And some of the MAGA right are saying like it is set up, or like they just want to harass a patriot and everything. Yeah, somebody set up security cameras and surveillance cameras just for her that night. Yeah, that's the big plan. You know, she's being targeted. This is a sting to make her look bad. First of all, I wouldn't have honestly thought there would be surveillance cameras in a location like that. It's good to know that. I wouldn't think it would be something that would be happening. But man, they caught a handful of stuff that night. So more examples of the party of family values. Tim Scott is a Republican. You can see him here in the picture. During the Republican presidential running meeting that they had a while back, which I covered on the channel, the Republican debate, things had come up about like why wasn't he married and all this other stuff. So Tim Scott has kind of been on this tour saying, you know I don't have a wife, but I have a girlfriend, don't worry, you'll meet her, and all this other stuff. Very Matt Getz-ish kind of thing going on over here. And now he's saying that they're beginning to insinuate that he is gay because they can't attack him for his blackness. So he's a Republican, he's black, and he's like, okay, I'm taking away their racism by being black and being a Republican. Like, are you going to get on me for being black? I'm a Republican. I'm on your side. What's your deal? So he's now saying they're going after me by saying I'm quote-unquote gay because that's the only thing they have on me. They don't want to attack me for being black. Then that's racism. So now they're just using the gay card against me. And it sounds like we're living in 1963 and not 2023. My response to this was the "Welcome to the Party, Pal" John McClane gif from Die Hard 1. In his own party, he is facing criticism for not being married, and they're beginning to throw the gay label to him because of that. Which goes to show you, this is not a group about family values. This is a group about outrage, and they will find it however they can find it. You know, they can't do the racist thing, so now they're going to potentially do the homophobic thing with him. And this happened to Maya Flores a little after she won a couple years ago. She believed in some gun check law. She's a Republican, and she's, you know, pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment and everything. However, she was still looking into, like, red flag laws and gun check laws and everything. And she used to say, oh, Democrats don't like me because, you know, I'm Hispanic, but I'm Republican, and they think I should be with them, and they don't like me, and blah, blah, blah. The only hate Maya Flores was getting was from within the party, because they didn't agree with her stance of having some gun control. And they attacked her in racist manners. They didn't say, we don't, you know, we believe in this, you should get along with this, and you should follow what we do. They just went for her ethnicity. And it's funny that she's like, oh, Democrats don't like me. Democrats, literally nobody on the left side, liberal side, Democrat side, progressive side, however you want to phrase it, cared about Maya Flores. Her own party was crapping on her head simply because she won a little bit of constraint with guns. So, perfect example of quote-unquote family values. They're bagging on this guy for it. And they're like, why aren't you married? More examples of family values over here. Kristi Noem, the South Dakota governor, that is one of the people who is trying to jockey to potentially be like a Trump VP pick and everything, is reportedly been having an affair for quite some time with Lewandowski. You know that guy, the guy who got kicked off the Trump campaign for some sexist stuff going on over there. So Kristi Noem is married and has been having an affair with Corey Lewandowski. Absolutely incredible. Good job. Way to go. Family values. Put that in air quotes. Now, I want to highlight one of the original egregious quote-unquote family value trip-ups over here. The man responsible for Trump getting the evangelical Christian right backing in 2016 and the lead up to his 2016 presidency was none other than Falwell Jr. of Lynchburg, Virginia, and Liberty University. Falwell Jr. is known for watching his wife have sex with the pool boy. And you might say, oh, that sounds conspiracy theorish and blah, blah, blah. No, that's real. He's come out and said it in Vanity Fair. So between that coming to light about what his wife was doing and the fact that Falwell Jr. was a voyeur, you know, he sort of participated in it by watching. He's claimed he wasn't a voyeur, but he claimed that, yes, in fact, the wife had been having dalliances that he knew about with the pool boy turned business partner. No, like I absolutely do believe in the voyeuristic part of it. I disagree highly that he didn't sit in there and watch, because the two are always attached to each other when it's talked about. And he went and did a Vanity Fair article and said, I'm not really a Christian. I have that name. I have that infamous Falwell name, but it's sort of like a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. Do as my name says, not as I'm doing. And then there was the picture of him on the boat next to that the co-ed with the belly exposed. And then he had the drinking problem. and he was booted from Liberty. And early in COVID, he had that harsh stance about we're not going to shut down and we're not going to masks. And the kids at Liberty were afraid of being sick. And some people said they didn't want to matriculate at Liberty because of those policies. So his life is in an utter shambles. And he's one of the reasons why the conservative Christian right, was aiming for Trump is because it was him lobbying for religious people to believe that Trump was the God-anointed candidate, and that guy's life is in as big of a shambles as Trump's is. So, yeah, party values, Christians, way to go, folks. And then finally, not related to the party of family values, but one thing I wanted to throw out here on this news blast is there are two things going on with Hunter Biden this week. He was indicted on the gun charges, and the gun charges are lying on the application to get a gun, where it asks, like, are you currently addicted to any drugs and stuff like that. He lied on that, and that's what they're getting him for. And a lot of people are under the impression it just sounds like political pressure to tack something onto this guy to stop this zealous crusade of impeach Joe Biden because of the Hunter Biden and the dealings and all that stuff. It feels like sort of like, all right, if we're going to have to fight, I'm going to give you I'm going to punch you in the gut. The wind is going to get knocked out of you, but you're going to be fine. I'm not going to crack a rib. I'm just going to go right below the solar plexus. It's going to hurt. You'll be fine. There we go. It'll look real. All right. So that's how a lot of people are feeling about it. However, there was something else going on with Hunter Biden this week. And it is that Hunter Biden alleges in a lawsuit against former Trump aide Garrett Ziegler that he accessed and manipulated data from Hunter Biden's iPhone, which he then turned around and claimed were on the laptop obtained from Steve Bannon, that crazy homeless looking dude, and Rudy Giuliani. And yes, I said it that way. That's on purpose. So obviously this is the infamous laptop from hell thing. Back in the day when these stories were breaking, as an IT person, the story never sat well with me. One, there was a picture of supposedly the drive being used in relation to the backup, which had a serial number after the laptop had come into Mr. Magoo's possession over there. The mom and pop shop guy with the beret and the Google eyes. Isaacs is his last name or first name. That didn't sit well with me. And the fact that no technician morally would start rifling through somebody's data like that. My girlfriend has worked as a Geek Squad technician. I've talked to people who've been Geek Squad members and, work with them. And I've heard their stories. I know other people casually who've done that kind of work. Yes, when a computer comes to you and you're trying to clean up viruses and you are performing maintenance on a computer, there are some things you cannot help but see. Just in the general process of things. And sometimes when those things are seen, people get in trouble. Things are revealed that are highly illegal and the person gets in trouble. It is natural. I onboarding people at jobs, offboarding people, going through mail to provide to managers. These things happen, and there is a certain limit of what just happens in these processes. However, what was happening in the Hunter Biden laptop case is that this guy dug into Outlook files and started going through his mail. This isn't conjecture. This is what he is admitted to doing. Outlook uses either OSTs or PSTs, depending on whether it is a Outlook for home use or Outlook for organizational use. To start going through a PST file or an OST file is akin to you walk into your friend's house, you see their couch, you see their furniture, you see their art on the walls, you see their TV and what's on the TV and everything like that. That's what it's like to be a tech getting a computer you need to work on. However, what he was admitting he was doing was like you going to your friend's house, saying you're going to the bathroom, and then doing some spy thriller shit, and going into their office and rifling through their filing cabinet, looking for a file in their alphabetical folders. That's what he admitted he was doing. No technician should have been doing that. Just rifling through his email and, it was part of the recovery process. No, it's not. That's not part of the recovery process to start digging into a file that represents somebody's mailbox. I've always been of the opinion that what happened is his iCloud account was hacked. They discovered things on it relating to his mail and his photos and his videos and everything. The typical things that you hear about when somebody's iCloud or iPhone account is hacked, when stars say that, nude material has been released on the internet, not because they gave it out freely, but because of an iCloud hack and everything. This happens to many stars. This stuff goes on. It's not like somebody released the text messages and said, here's the pictures that got sent me. They get hacked and their data is rifled through. Because that is considered fruit of the poisonous tree, it's basically illegal search and seizure, and there's laws protecting hacked materials. What I believe is they took that data, they got a Mac laptop, they dumped it on there, they used Mr. Magoo over there as a patsy, and they said, you're going to tell the story that Hunter dropped this off. You're going to have plausible deniability because you're legally blind. So you're going to sit there and say, I think it was him. I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to inject this material on a Mac and you're going to say it's his. In that kind of a situation, we can use the data. We can rightfully use the data. We cannot use it if we go around and say, we hacked his iCloud account. It's invalid. So here we finally have a lawsuit from Hunter. He's fighting back. And I think a lot is going to be revealed when this lawsuit settles. Because if it is proven that, in fact, his iCloud account was hacked, they used it to try to dump it on a Mac by signing in with that particular iOS ID, that Apple ID, and then get the data that way and be like, here it is, look, we're serving it up on a silver platter. It's going to be wonderful because all of the narratives around the quote-unquote laptop from hell are going to fall apart. Is the data real? Like, are those videos real? Are those pictures real? Yes, it's been proven. Is the majority of that email real? Yes. Much of the mail has been proven as legitimate, but also a lot of it has been proven as untrackable. They cannot trace the pathing of that data and know that it is, in fact, 100% uncorruptible. So it's a little 50-50 over there, maybe 60-40 true, not true. But there is enough of those mails and that data that they cannot do the chain of custody on. So it's going to be really, really interesting to watch this lawsuit pan out, because I'm telling you, under my opinion, my technical knowledge opinion, it is going to prove that Hunter Biden did not take a laptop, drop it off at Mr. Magoo's place, and then forget about it, and Mr. Magoo somehow managed to go through his data and come up with all these pictures and videos and emails and everything, 10% to the big guy, that kind of stuff. Anyway, that is it from me today with the Napalm News Blast. Have a good weekend, everybody.